They see the trophies. They see the goals. They see the celebrations, the records, the headlines screaming legend, but they don't see the truth. The truth begins far away from the bright lights of stadiums. It begins on a small island called Madeira. Narrow streets, modest homes, a boy with a burning hunger in his chest and nothing in his pockets except belief. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't grow up dreaming casually. He dreamed desperately. Dreamed like someone who knew that if he didn't make it, there was no backup plan waiting to save him. As a child, he ran faster than the others, not because he wanted to win, but because losing felt unbearable. While other kids went home when the sun went down, he stayed. When they laughed, he trained. When they rested, he pushed. Not because anyone forced him, because something inside him demanded it. That is where greatness starts. Not talent, not luck, but a refusal to accept average as a destination. Ronaldo was skinny. Too skinny, they said. Emotional. Too emotional, they said. Raw. Unpolished. They laughed at his accent, mocked his tears when he lost. But what they mistook for weakness was actually obsession. Every insult became fuel. Every doubt became a challenge. Every loss became personal. Mindset is not a word. It's a decision you make every single day. When he left Madeira at 12 years old, alone, scared, homesick, he didn't just leave home, he left comfort. And comfort never creates legends. Nights were silent. Loneliness was loud. But instead of running from it, he used it. He trained while missing his family. He slept while visualizing goals. He woke up believing that pain was temporary, but quitting would last forever. Belief isn't confidence when things are easy. Belief is showing up when everything inside you wants to stop. At Sporting Lisbon, his talent shone, but talent wasn't enough. He stayed after training, practiced free kicks until his legs shook, worked on his weak foot until it stopped being weak. He didn't ask, "Am I good enough?" He asked, "How do I become unstoppable?" That question followed him to Manchester. At 17, standing in a Manchester United dressing room filled with giants of the game, he didn't shrink. He observed, learned, absorbed. He watched how champions trained, how they spoke, how they recovered. And then, he raised the standard even higher. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't just see a player. He saw a mentality ready to be sharpened. And Ronaldo took that sharpening willingly. Early mornings, extra sessions, repetition without applause, missed chances, harsh tackles, criticism from fans who didn't understand his style yet. But belief is quiet. It doesn't need permission. When he lost the ball, he demanded it back. When he failed, he doubled the work. When pressure increased, so did his focus. Goals didn't come easily at first, but he never panicked. Because he wasn't chasing goals, he was building himself. Clarity came next. Ronaldo became clear on one thing. Being good was never enough. He didn't want to be remembered. He wanted to be undeniable. So he transformed his body, turned discipline into routine, routine into ritual. Nutrition, sleep, recovery, everything mattered. While others celebrated wins, he analyzed performance. While others partied, he trained. Not because he had to, because excellence demanded it. Vision isn't seeing what is possible. Vision is seeing what others refuse to imagine. In the rain, in empty stadiums, in silence, Ronaldo trained like the world was watching, even when no one was. He visualized success before it arrived, goals before they happened, trophies before they were lifted. And when they finally came, they didn't surprise him. He had already lived them 1,000 times in his mind. Purpose took over. He wasn't playing for applause anymore. He was playing to honor sacrifice. His family's struggle, his mother's strength, his father's absence. Every sprint carried meaning. Every goal carried weight. Football became his language to tell the world, "I made it, but I never forgot where I came from." And then came the biggest test. Real Madrid, a new stage, a heavier shirt, impossible expectations, a price tag that screamed pressure. The world waited for him to fail. He smiled. Because pressure is not an enemy when you are prepared. It is a stage. In Madrid, Ronaldo didn't just score goals. He dominated eras. He rewrote history. Hat-tricks in knockout games. Comebacks when hope was fading. Champions League nights where he rose when others disappeared. He didn't hide in big moments, he hunted them. But even gods fall. Criticism returned. Whistles replaced cheers. Doubt crept in again. Age became the new insult. He's finished, they said. He can't do it anymore. They forgot one thing. Ronaldo was never built on approval. He adapted, changed his game, became smarter, deadlier, more efficient, less flashy, more lethal. He didn't fight time, he trained to outrun it. While others declined, he evolved, because adaptability is the final weapon of the great. And through it all, gratitude remained. Gratitude for the grind, gratitude for the pain, gratitude for the journey. Because he understood something most people never do. Success without gratitude becomes empty, and gratitude without effort becomes useless. Ronaldo thanked the struggle by respecting it, by never cheating the process, by never disrespecting the work. And now when you see him standing tall, muscles carved by discipline, eyes burning with hunger even after everything he has achieved, you're not looking at luck, you're looking at choices. Daily choices, painful choices, lonely choices. The truth about becoming the best is simple but not easy. You must want it more than comfort. You must work when motivation disappears. You must believe when evidence is missing. You must rise when the world expects you to fall. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't become the best by accident. He became the best because he decided over and over again to live like it. And that same decision is waiting for you. The climb doesn't slow down just because you've reached the top of one mountain. That's a lie people tell themselves to justify stopping. For Ronaldo, reaching the summit only revealed higher peaks. After Champions League glory, Ballon d'Or nights, and record-breaking seasons, something dangerous appeared: comfort. And comfort is the silent killer of greatness. Most people relax when they arrive. Ronaldo recalibrated. He asked a harder question. How do I stay hungry when the world says, I've already eaten enough? Discipline became non-negotiable. Not when cameras were watching, when nobody was. Ice baths at midnight. Recovery sessions when his body begged for rest. Training intensity that didn't dip in preseason, midseason, or after trophies. He treated his body like an elite machine because he knew something most don't. Talent gets you noticed, but discipline keeps you relevant. While teammates counted matches, he counted reps. While critics counted his age, he counted his sacrifices. This is where belief deepened into certainty. Belief says I can. Certainty says I will, no matter what it costs. And the cost was high. Injuries came. Pain lingered. Hamstrings tightened. Ankles swelled. Matches were played through discomfort that would sideline most. But Ronaldo separated pain from injury. He listened to his body, but he never let fear speak louder than purpose. Purpose sharpens focus. Every training session had intent. Every movement had meaning. He studied defenders, learned their habits, their weaknesses, their timing. Football became chess at full speed. He didn't just outrun opponents, he outthought them. And when the spotlight intensified, when every miss was magnified, when social media dissected every step, he didn't retreat. He leaned forward. Pressure doesn't break the prepared. It exposes the unprepared. Then came moments that defined resilience. Knockout matches where one goal meant everything. Penalties with entire nations holding their breath. Nights when the team was down, when momentum was gone, when belief was fading, and Ronaldo stood taller. Not by shouting, not by panicking, by demanding responsibility. He wanted the last shot, the final header, the deciding penalty. Not because he craved attention, but because he trusted the work he had done in the dark. Resilience isn't loud. It's built quietly over years of showing up when no one is clapping. But even warriors face storms they can't control. Transfers, controversy, changing leagues, new systems, new expectations. From England to Spain, Spain to Italy, Italy back to England. Each move carried risk. New critics, new doubts, new obstacles. And every time Ronaldo proved the same truth. Greatness travels because it was never about the league, never about the system, never about the jersey. It was about standards. He raised them everywhere he went. Demanded intensity, demanded professionalism, demanded excellence. Some admired it, some resented it, but no one could ignore it. Learning never stopped. He adjusted his positioning, improved his finishing, perfected his movement in the box, turned aerial dominance into an art, free kicks into science, recovery into a ritual. He studied longevity the way others study tactics, because the goal was never to burn bright and fade. The goal was to last. And lasting requires humility, the humility to learn even when you're at the top, to accept feedback, to refine, to evolve. Gratitude kept him grounded. He thanked fans not with words but with performance. Thanked critics by proving them wrong. Thanked setbacks by using them as stepping stones. Every challenge was a lesson, every loss a mirror. He didn't ask, "Why me?" He asked, "What is this here to teach me?" That question changes everything. It turns obstacles into instruction, failure into feedback, pain into progress. And as years passed, as records piled up, as history bent around his name, something remarkable remained unchanged. The fire, that same fire from Madeira, from lonely nights away from home, from being laughed at for dreaming too big, that fire still burns. Because hunger isn't about how much you've achieved, it's about how much more you believe is possible. And now as he stands not just as a player but as a symbol of discipline, of obsession, of relentless pursuit, you realize the truth was never about football. Football was the canvas. The message was always bigger. That greatness is built daily, that excuses are optional, that your environment doesn't define your ceiling, your standards do. That you don't wait for confidence, you earn it through work. Ronaldo's life is proof that motivation fades, but discipline remains. That talent opens doors, but obsession keeps them open. That belief without action is fantasy, but action with belief is unstoppable. And if there is one lesson carved into every sprint, every goal, every comeback, it is this: you don't become the best by wishing, you become the best by deciding and then paying the price. The question isn't whether you have potential. The question is, are you willing to live like it every single day? Every champion faces doubt. Every great story has chapters written in struggle. But what separates the remembered from the forgotten is not the absence of obstacles. It is the response to them. Cristiano Ronaldo understood this from the beginning. He didn't chase comfort. He embraced confrontation with opponents, with expectations, and, most importantly, with himself. Every morning, the mirror reminded him of one truth: there are no shortcuts. He saw the body of a man he was sculpting through repetition, sweat, and relentless training. A body that could sprint past defenders at 25, score in midair at 30, and maintain dominance well into his 30s. Not by luck, not by genetics, not by natural talent alone, but by dedication, by discipline, by choices made when no one was watching. Action was his currency. Every training session, every sprint, every controlled diet choice, every calculated rest, it all compounded. While others debated how to get better, he did better. While others looked for excuses, he created solutions. While others dreamed of greatness, he embodied it. Because dreams without action are illusions, and action without obsession is empty. And the world responded. Records fell, defenses cracked. Champions League nights became theatrical masterpieces with Ronaldo at center stage. Hat tricks against giants, game-winning goals in stadiums that shook with applause. Moments that demanded a hero, and a hero appeared. Consistently, relentlessly, unapologetically. But mastery is not linear. Even a man at the pinnacle faces setbacks. Injuries threatened momentum. Coaches questioned decisions. Critics analyzed his every movement. Transfers meant adapting to new systems, new cultures, new pressures. Yet every challenge became a catalyst. Every setback a spark, every criticism fuel for refinement. Resilience is born in these moments. It is forged in the fires of adversity. It is proven not when life is easy, but when life is relentless. Ronaldo's resilience wasn't just physical, it was mental. When the world screamed, "He's done," he responded with performance. When doubts multiplied, he multiplied his effort. When critics predicted decline, he rewrote the narrative. Longevity in elite sport requires more than talent. It requires obsession, precision, and an unshakable belief in the value of your own work. And that belief is informed by clarity. He knew exactly what he wanted and why. Not temporary fame, not fleeting applause, not easy success. He wanted to dominate his craft, to leave a legacy, to prove that commitment can outlast natural gifts, to show that the life you want exists on the other side of relentless focus. Purpose turned every sacrifice into fuel. Long hours alone in gyms, solitary drills on empty pitches, ice baths in the dark of night, all became investments into a future only he could see clearly. Vision and purpose became his compass. Discipline became his vehicle. Action became his acceleration. And resilience became the engine that never failed. Learning never stopped. At every stage of his career, he sought improvement. Weak foot, sharpened. Heading, perfected. Free kicks, studied scientifically, positioning, anticipated instinctively. Even in his 30s, when most athletes plateau, he evolved. He studied sports science, nutrition, recovery techniques, and psychological strategies to extend his dominance. Greatness isn't an accident, it is intentional, ongoing, and relentless. Gratitude, too, remained central. For his mother, who sacrificed for him, for coaches who believed in potential, for teammates who challenged him, for critics who drove him to prove them wrong. Every success, every failure, every moment became a lesson, a mirror, a teacher. Gratitude kept him grounded. Gratitude kept him hungry. Gratitude ensured that the obsession never became arrogance. Adaptability turned obstacles into advantages. New leagues, new teammates, new pressures, they were not threats. They were opportunities to showcase resilience, intelligence, and mastery. While others resisted change, he embraced it. While others faltered under scrutiny, he thrived under it. While others aged, he transformed, proving that evolution is the ultimate tool of survival and dominance. And now, as you watch the highlights, read the statistics, or witness the celebrations, know this: it's never just football. It is a blueprint, a roadmap, a manifesto for anyone willing to see the truth. The truth is, talent opens doors, but only obsession keeps them open. Dreams inspire, but only discipline fulfills. Hope motivates, but only action transforms. Ronaldo's life is a testimony that greatness is available to anyone who is willing to pay the price. Are you willing to outwork your competition? Are you willing to rise when everyone else sleeps? Are you willing to endure what most cannot? Because greatness doesn't wait. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't apologize. It demands everything and gives nothing in return except results to those who earn them. Every goal Ronaldo scored was more than a point on a scoreboard. Every record broken was more than a headline. Every victory was more than a trophy. It was proof of what relentless dedication, disciplined action, and unwavering belief can achieve. And the most inspiring truth is this: Ronaldo's journey didn't peak at trophies or records. It peaks at every choice he made to refuse mediocrity, every decision to train when others rested, every sacrifice, every repetition, every lonely night spent refining a craft. Because that's the real lesson. The world doesn't crown those who wish. It crowns those who act, those who endure, those who master themselves first. And in mastering themselves, they master destiny. The fire that started in Madeira, that burned through lonely nights, harsh criticism, and impossible expectations, that fire never extinguished. And it can't extinguish in you either if you choose. The path isn't easy. The price is high. But the reward is undeniable. A life lived without regret, without what-ifs, and without limits imposed by fear, doubt, or laziness. So here's the truth about becoming the best. It isn't about luck. It isn't about talent alone. It isn't about shortcuts or ease. It's about decisions. It's about obsession. It's about showing up every day, even when no one is watching. It's about rising, grinding, learning, evolving, and never surrendering. This is the code Cristiano Ronaldo lives by. And this is the code you can live by too. Are you ready to write your legacy? To embrace the grind? To demand excellence from yourself when no one else will? If Ronaldo can rise from a small island to conquer the world stage, if he can evolve at 35 into a player who outlasts younger generations, then so can you if you choose. The game of life rewards those who act. The world remembers those who endure. History honors those who refuse mediocrity. Decide today, train today, sacrifice today, dominate today. Because the fire that burns in you can become unstoppable. And when it does, nothing and no one can stand in your way. If you're ready to take that step, to embrace the lessons, the mindset, the discipline, and the relentless drive of one of the greatest athletes of all time, then make sure you don't miss what comes next. Subscribe now, because every week, we dive deeper into the minds of the world's most extraordinary achievers. Every word, every lesson, every story is designed to fuel your fire, sharpen your focus, and push you toward greatness. Don't just watch, transform.